Okay guys, let's start. We'll start on our feet with ragdoll. We're only going to do a 2-minute ragdoll. So feet are about hip width apart. Let me just change the camera angle a second. And then what you're going to do, if you know you've got tight hamstrings, then you're going to bend your knees quite a lot, because what we're aiming to do is to get the chest as close to the quads, the upper thighs, as we can. But if you have tight hamstrings, that'll put quite a lot of strain on your lower back. So even if you're flexible, still bend the knees a little bit. Okay, so you're going to bend the knees quite a lot, then you're going to bend forwards, aiming to get your chest to touch your knees, then cup your elbows in your hands, drop the head and relax. Right, we're just going to hold this for 2 minutes today. Should feel an intense stretch in your hamstrings. We don't want to feel it in your joints, so not in the back of the knees. If you do, bend the knees more. Right, now let's focus on our breath work. So in through the nose for 4 and out through the mouth for 8. Keep holding there. Remember that this breath work is key for gravity yoga. Just let the head relax, let the neck relax. Remember, in your practice, ragdoll can be done for up to 5 minutes. It's a long hold pose. Okay, we're moving into our last 25 seconds. And relax. Okay, slowly coming down onto your knees. What you'll find in that pose as well is the more you bend your knees, you'll probably feel it more in the hamstrings. Right, we're just going to take it into a plank to reset. So into a plank pose. Right, hands are directly underneath your shoulders, feet are hip width apart. You're just looking slightly ahead. Okay, drop the knees, just take it back into child's pose. And then coming back up. Right, we're going to go into plow pose and we are going to hold this, can't get this camera angle right today, for 3 minutes. Now, this one you can take your feet all the way onto the ground. I'm not there yet, so I'm going to use a modification. So you could use a chair, a stool. I started on the sofa because I needed to go really high. So it depends kind of where you're at with it really. But this is my version of it. This is not the full version. So from here, you're going to lift up, support the back. Okay, and then just drop, bend the knees, drop the feet down. Okay, and that's your position. So just have a play around with it a second to see if you need any modifications. So it's a really strong stretch for the whole of the posterior chain. So hamstrings, glutes, lower back. Just be careful with the neck if you have any neck issues. Okay. Right, so we're going to hold it for 3 minutes, but if you're not comfortable, you dip in and out of this. I was doing 10 seconds at a time when I first started. So in and out, go into child's pose to relax, come back into the pose if you want to. So let's get into the pose to start with. I'll start the clock now because it's push up, use your hands to support your lower back, bend the knees and just let the feet drop on. It does squish you, so your breathing might not be as deep, it won't be as deep, but still try to get 4 in through the nose and 8 through the mouth. Key to switching off the stretch reflex that's saying, I don't want to be in this position. Okay, and if you're comfortable, you can extend the hands out like that and just hold that stretch. Remember, it's shallow breathing, but in through the nose for 4, out through the mouth for 8. You don't have to be super strict with this pose as well. You can just kind of relax into it a little bit. So the back doesn't need to be super straight. You know, the spine can round. You just have to be careful as long as you don't feel any pain anywhere in joints. We just want it to be muscular. So it should feel more like a stretch, not a pain in any joints. I'm kind of growing to like this pose. I hated it to start with. Remember, these stretches are intense. They're meant to be intense. So use your breathing, close your eyes. Imagine that principle wet noodle where you're just imagining like really, really relaxing. Okay, we're into our last minute. So if you've made it 2 minutes, that's great. If you can hang in there for 1 minute, fantastic. This is plow pose. All right, moving into our last 10 seconds. And just slowly, carefully come out of that. Whoa. I quite enjoyed that one. So it can be very, it depends when you're tired. So I felt that in my butt a little bit, but mostly my lower back, which I know is tight. Okay, so we're going to do a seated heart open as a reset. So up onto your heels like this, and your hands are behind. Squeeze your shoulder blades together. You can't see me very well there. I'm going to start here. Okay, as you come up, you're going to squeeze the shoulder blades together and drop the head back. Okay, let's go up, drop the head back, puff the chest up, open the heart, and back down onto your heels. Okay, let's go again. Up, extend the neck. And back down one more time. And relax. Right, I've saved the toughest one to last, cliffhanger. So let me show you the modifications, because those of you that haven't done it before. So this is a very intense shoulder and chest opener. It is intense, but it is amazing. So I'm going to show you the stretch first, then I'm going to show you the modifications. So you go with your head right up to the wall. This, you walk your hands up like this, can you see? And then you drop your head. Like that, like you're hanging off a cliff. For some people, that's super intense. So the modifications, let me just pop the camera up a bit, are onto a wall on your knees. Drop the head like this and hang there. And then if that's too intense, you're onto the side like this. Okay. Now the idea is to move into cliffhanger as soon as you can. So we don't want you to stay with the modifications for too long. We want you to challenge yourself. But I appreciate it can be super hard to start with. So I'm going to hold this for 2 minutes is the aim. If you make 30 seconds, that's amazing. Okay. If you make 20 seconds, great. Do as much as you can. Okay. Modify if you need to. Right. We've got 2 minutes. I'm going to start the clock now. Let's go. And if you're on the ground like this, you can move further away if you need to ease it a little bit. Just let the head relax. Right, your breath work is key here. Your stretch reflex will be going nuts. We want to turn it off, dull it down. Right, we've done 1 minute. Let gravity do that work. You just hold that position and aim to relax. Right, we got 20 more seconds. Last 5. Now don't just crash to the ground, just gently come out of that. Oh my gosh, that was hard. Those last 20 seconds were horrible. Okay, and relax.